Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, students. I hope you all are fine. Today we will discuss the assessment centers. What are the assessment centers and how these assessment centers are important and effective for recruitment and selection, and how the organizations of this contemporary world are using this systematic method of assessing the employees are the potential candidates through these specialized centers which are developed to know the competencies and the relevance of skills with the job environment in order to take a decision and to hire right person for the right job. So today we will discuss these assessment center and its importance for the recruitment and selection procedure. So what is the assessment method? Actually, this method is used. This is our slide to show what is outline of today's lecture. First of all, we will introduce the assessment center. Then I will present little bit history of this method. Then what are the current trends in the assessment center and how an assessment center works. Then we will discuss in detail the advantages and disadvantages of the assessment centers, growth of assessment center in various countries, documentation of assessment centers, activities involved with assessment centers, and then assessment center norms, how assessment centers enhance HR effectiveness, and what is the difference between the assessment center and the development center. Okay, so again, the term assessment center has been preceded by the development center, which is more suitable and which is more encouraging to the employees. And what are the competency mapping through assessment centers. So let us start with the introduction. Assessment centers, as the name suggests, is a systematic method of evaluating the behaviors of an individual based on multiple criteria. Okay, so assessment centers, as opposed to the traditional way of selection method, in which we just go through the methods of selecting the employees through letting them go through the written test and screening and then interview and then making the selection decision. Okay, whereas in assessment center we have to evaluate the behavior of an individual and we have to use multiple criteria for it. Okay, we will discuss about those criteria in detail in the lecture. So we do the assessment of the potential candidates through trained observers, and we use many trained observers, and we also use many techniques to assess the potential candidates. These assessment centers are basically a place where a person, say for example the staff, is assessed to decide whether she is suitable for the job or not. Okay, so in the traditional method may analyze the potential of the employee or the potential candidate with regard to the knowledge they possess, the theoretical knowledge they possess. However, the assessment center are used to understand what is the potential of the candidates with regard to the practical knowledge of that person and the experience of that person, and it is more relevant, it is more valid to assess and to appraise the person's capability of doing a particular job in particular setting, okay, in the organization. So these assessment center method is used particularly in management and as well as in the military settings. So however, in both settings, management center settings as well as the military setting, it has been very much effective, and it has been very much popularly utilized. Okay. These assessment centers consist of standardized evaluation of behavior based on multiple inputs. Multiple trained observers and techniques are used with received results. Judgment about candidate behavior are made. These judgments are pooled in meeting among the assessors and are by a statistical integration process. So, in this process, in this method, we use some standardized behavioral assessment techniques, and as I discussed earlier, there are multiple persons who are employed to judge the people from the different angles. There might be some of the psychologists who have to judge and assess the personality traits of an employee and see whether those personality traits which employee possesses are relevant to the organizational requirements, organization settings, or the workplace environment or not. Okay. There might be some other people who have to judge the behavioral patterns of a candidate, whether that person is providing the rightful clues of what he is expected to do at the job or not. Okay, so these things we use. We use multiple inputs. We use multiple methods. We use multiple trainers, and we use multiple observers and judges to assess the employees, the candidates from variety of the perspectives. Okay, so at the end, what happens? At the end, you create a pool of the employees, and and you rank them, and you categorize them. Then all the people, all the judges, all the observers meet together and to analyze the results, and sometimes those results go through some statistical procedures, and we have to identify whether the results are significant and whether results are reliable and valid or not. So utilizing some statistical procedures, okay, and those procedures will help us predict the employee behavior in the employment setting when if the decision is taken to hire those persons. Okay. So what the assessment center is? Assessment center is the standardized procedure of evaluation. Okay. Then it is also a program designed to measure the required skill set dimensions for the particular job. It is a key HR process, especially for the recruitment and selection. It aims to know the suitability of the candidate for the particular job, and we perform series of the activities to know the suitability of the candidate for a particular job, and the assessment centers help us drawing conclusion with the statistical process. Okay, so what assessment centers do? Assessment centers allows candidates to demonstrate skill sets and behaviors, and it allows the assessors and the observers to know whether the demonstrated skills and the behaviors are relevant and are required for the organization or not, are relevant for the workplace environment or not, and the skills and behaviors which are present in the potential candidates are the relevant enough to predict the employees' behaviors at the job or not. Okay, so assessment center basically it is a contemporary way of analyzing the potential of the candidates, and these are used to help making the decisions of recruitment and selection. Okay, and what we do, we have to check the suitability of the candidates with regard to the particular job. Okay, so in traditional recruitment and selection method, which we have been discussing earlier, in which we discussed different approaches and different tests and different methods. Say, for example, the testing, referencing, interviewing, and the screening, and so on, and background checks and physical and medical tests and the psychological tests, etc., etc. All these tests are basically aimed to check the suitability of the candidate, but these assessment centers are specialized ways of performing similar tasks in a very standardized way. Okay, because there are multiple methods which are utilized to assess the potential of the candidates. So, what are the characteristics of the assessment center? The following are the characteristics of assessment centers. Every assessment center have established certain criteria. On the basis of that criteria, the decision to declare the candidate either pass or fail is made. And these assessment centers are established to take selection decisions, to take the the recruitment and selection decisions. So there might be one way or one objective to fill up the sum of vacancies through these assessment centers. Okay, and these assessment centers also assess the immediate organizational needs. Okay, what are those needs? Those needs might be to hire the right person for the right job. Okay, it can also be used by with external and internal candidates. So the assessment centers are also not only used for the shortlisting of the external candidates, which is basically the procedure employed in traditional methods. What we do, we they invite the applications through the advertising, and we also focus to hire the people out from outside the organization, that is the external recruitment. But these assessment centers are used for the internal candidates. Can you tell me what is the difference between the external candidates and the internal candidates? Can anybody tell me? Okay, please share with
Sir,
me.
internal organization जे अंदर हैं like manager ऐं जे subordinate ऐं जेके external customers ऐं ॿाहिरियां.
Okay, but can you tell me the difference? Why we need to assess our internal candidates, and when we assess the internal candidates, what sort of the decisions are made when you assess the internal candidates? Okay, so देखें कि इंटरनल कैंडिडेट्स को हम क्यों असेस करते हैं. दो तीन जो है वो इसकी वजूहात हो सकती हैं. एक तो परफॉर्मेंस एवल्यूएशन के पर्सपेक्टिव में भी हम उनकी असेसमेंट करते हैं कि when we have to write down their SCRs or their performance evaluation reports, PERs, and we have to see who has performed well and who is an employee who has not met the targets, because many other decisions are based upon the performance evaluation reports. Say, for example, the pay raises and the promotions are also dependent upon the performance evaluation. So there are many flaws in the traditional way of evaluating the performance, but the assessment centers might be a great opportunity to evaluate employee performance in a very standardized way. Okay. So another way to assess the internal candidates might be to take the promotional decisions. Okay. And some other are also when we want to develop our internal candidates in order to fill up the future vacancies. So that procedure is called the succession planning. We will be discussing in the upcoming slides as well. Okay. So here we can understand that assessment center is not only for the external candidates, but it can be used to assess the suitability of internal candidates for many decisions. Say for example the job rotation, say for example succession planning, say for example the performance evaluation, and say for the promotions, etc., etc. Okay. So it may have fewer assessors and more participants. Yes, we have in assessment centers, we can assess many participants at a time. Okay, and we can employ many assessors, but those assessors might be few as compared to the number of participants. Yes, it involves the line managers as assessors. Okay, it is a good opportunity to utilize the services of the line managers to or to give them the opportunity to assess their potential candidates, okay, their potential subordinates, and to see whether their skills match their requirement or not. So can you define who is the line manager in the organization? Hello? Mujahid? Who is the line manager? Okay, Mehnaz? Arij Amamudayo?
सर लाइन मैनेजर एम्प्लॉयज थी सगन होता जिनजो इन्वॉल्वमेंट हो जे प्रोडक्शन में
लाइन मैनेजर जो है लाइन मैनेजर इज अ मैनेजर हु परफॉर्म द कोर ड्यूटीज ऑफ एन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन और डिपार्टमेंट
फॉर अ पर्टिकुलर एम्प्लॉयज
जी
मैनेजरियल रिस्पांसिबिलिटीज होती है उसके पास
हाँ उसके पास मैनेजर रिस्पांसिबिलिटीज भी होती है
फॉर अ पर्टिकुलर एम्प्लॉयज के लिए
हाँ पर्टिकुलर एम्प्लॉयज पर्टिकुलर डिपार्टमेंट मैंने कहा ना कोर ड्यूटीज होती है अभी आप देखें कि अगर एक सेक्शन है एक जो है किसी भी कारखाने में या किसी मिल में किसी कारपोरेशन में किसी इदारे में जो बंदा वहां पर कोर ड्यूटीज परफॉर्म कर रहा है वो उसका लाइन मैनेजर है मिसाल के सामने का प्रोडक्शन डिपार्टमेंट है जो प्रोडक्शन मैनेजर हैं जो प्रोडक्शन के डिसीजंस लेते हैं वो क्या है कि वो उसके लाइन मैनेजर है जो मैन्युफैक्चरिंग डिपार्टमेंट से ताल्लुक रखते हैं मैन्युफैक्चरिंग डिपार्टमेंट में जो मैन्युफैक्चरिंग का काम कर रहे हैं लोग वो क्या है वो उसके लाइन मैनेजर है ठीक है तो इस तरीके से वो जी जो कि कोर ड्यूटीज उसकी सरंजाम दे रहे हैं सही है बाकी कुछ लोगों से ऐसे होते हैं जो कि सपोर्ट में काम कर रहे हैं जैसे क्लरिकल स्टाफ हो गया सिक्योरिटी स्टाफ हो गया या दूसरे लोग हैं अगर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन वाइड भी सपोर्ट स्टाफ के लोग होते हैं जिस तरह एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में एचआर का जो बंदा है वो दूसरों के मुकाबले में मतलब जो है वो उनके लिए एक उसकी अथॉरिटी जो है स्टाफ अथॉरिटी होती है ठीक है सीईओ को वो सिर्फ एचआर के फंक्शन के ऊपर जो है वो सपोर्ट करता है या उससे अपनी जो है वो कंसल्टेंसी प्रोवाइड करता है सही है मगर वो ही बंदा एचआर का अपने एचआर डिपार्टमेंट में लाइन मैनेजर होता है क्योंकि वो वहाँ पे वो जो बुनियादी डिसीजंस है वो लेता है जो लाइन मैनेजर के कि जी आप ने वहाँ पर लोगों से जो बेसिक एक्टिविटीज हैं परफॉर्म कराना लाइन मैनेजर की जिम्मेदारी होती है कि कौन बंदा छुट्टी कर रहा है कौन नहीं कर रहा है कौन कौन सा काम कर रहा है कौन कौन सी मशीन पे लगा हुआ है और किसने कितना काम करना है कौन उसके लिए टारगेट्स क्या हैं, उसके लिए क्राइटेरिया क्या है, ये सारी चीजें, ये सारे डिसीजन जो है वो लाइन मैनेजर लेता है, ठीक है। तो इस वजह से आप समझें कि लाइन मैनेजर वो बंदा है जो कि कोर ड्यूटी सर अंजाम देता है। तो कोर ड्यूटी सर अंजाम देने वाले को हम लाइन मैनेजर कहते हैं, ठीक है। तो समझ में आ रही बात। अब यहाँ पर आमतौर पर जो ट्रेडिशनल मेथड था, तो उसमें मतलब लाइन मैनेजर्स का रोल जरूर होता है, वो बोर्ड में या सिलेक्शन बोर्ड में इंटरव्यू में होते हैं, मगर क्योंकि ज़्यादातर जिम्मेदारी जो है वो HR वालों की होती है, और यहाँ पर आप उनको भी इन्वॉल्व करते हैं और उनकी इन्वॉल्वमेंट थोड़ी ज़्यादा करते हैं, ताकि वो एम्प्लॉइज़ को जो है वो अपने जॉब एनवायरनमेंट के पर्सपेक्टिव में उन्हें असेस कर सकें। Assessment centers place less emphasis on self-assessment. Okay. So there is no any or very few or very low focus on the self-assessment, because in assessment centers the assessment is made by the external assessors or the observers. Okay. Assessment centers are geared to meet the needs of organization, assign the role of judges to assessors. Okay. So as we discussed, there are some assessors. So we call them judges. We call them the observers. Okay. So they have to observe, they have to judge, they have to assess the potential candidates, and to have to decide their suitability for their job. So most of the time, these assessors are from the line departments. So the line department people have the more experience regarding and have more knowledge about the workplace environment and the requisite skills. Okay. So and then they may give no feedback to the individual. There is no any concept of the feedback. We retain ownership of the outcome feedback within the organization. Assessment centers basically retain the outcome of any procedure with them, and they also sometimes share with the organizations what are the outcome of those assessment centers, right? So next slide says that following are not assessment centers. Okay, what are things which cannot be considered as a part of the assessment centers? If any organization which conducts interview in multiple rounds, say for example you have to interview the set of the candidates for many times, so those multiple interviews cannot be considered as a part of the assessment centers. And we traditionally what we do, we conduct the written test. Those written tests are not the part of the assessment centers, and individual clinical assessments are not part of the assessment centers, and psychometric test and reliability and single evaluation method. So these 4 or 5 points, if we do them individually, these are not the assessment. Assessment centers may combine many methods, and which may also include some of these things, but assessment centers have more activities which are practice oriented. Okay, and in which observers and the assessors and the judges are used to evaluate the potential and the suitability of the candidates, right? So what are the criteria which must be used by the assessment centers? Yeah. First of all, the assessment centers have to conduct the job analysis. Okay. So what are the job analysis? To understand job challenge and the competencies required for the successful execution of the job, and the job or the position for which assessment center is done has to be adequately analyzed. Okay. So what we have to do, we have to conduct a proper job analysis to see what are the requirements of the job in terms of the competencies which are required, in terms of the the skill set is required, in terms of the knowledge, behavior, and attitudes which are to be seen in the employees and which are the requirement of the job challenges. Okay, so these competencies can maybe firstly can be made as a part of the job description and the job specification. Then on the on the basis of those job specifications, we have to assess the suitability of the candidates. तो जॉब एनालिसिस में हमने हम इसका रिक्रूटमेंट सिलेक्शन के कोर्स में हर बार जिक्र करते हैं, और वो इस वजह से है ये जॉब एनालिसिस जो है वो हमें जेडी देता है और जॉब स्पेसिफिकेशन देता है, और ये वो क्राइटेरिया है, ये वो यार्ड स्टिक है जिसकी बुनियाद पर हम जो है वो बंदे का फैसला लेते हैं कि आया इसको हमने जॉब देनी है, हायर करना है, अपॉइंट करना है या नहीं करना। ठीक है, क्योंकि सूटेबिलिटी चेक करने के लिए हमें एक क्राइटेरिया चाहिए, और वो क्राइटेरिया हमें कहाँ लिखा होता है, वो हमारी जॉब डिस्क्रिप्शन में लिखा होता है, ये हमारी जॉब स्पेसिफिकेशन। वंस द जॉब एनालिसिस इज डन, then we have to select the measurement techniques. Okay, and then we know the assessment centers does not rely on a single evaluation method, so we have to select many measurement methods, and those measurement methods will also encircle the requirements which are enlisted in job analysis or the its product, job description and job specification, right? So then assessors behavioral observations classified into meaningful and relevant categories. तो पहला काम क्या था, इससे पहले हमने कहा कि हमें जॉब एनालिसिस चाहिए और वो हमें अपडेटेड चाहिए होता है। ठीक है, ताकि हमें पता चले कि क्योंकि बाद औक़ात ना हर जॉब के लिए लोगों के पास पहले से कुछ जॉब डिस्क्रिप्शंस या कुछ चीज़ें ट्रेडिशनली अवेलेबल होती हैं, कुछ डॉक्यूमेंट्स। वी डोंट हैव टू रिलाई ऑन दोज हिस्टोरिकल डॉक्यूमेंट्स, राइट, वी हैव टू अपडेट इट। तो जॉब एनालिसिस करने का एक अपना प्रोसीजर है, हम इसके ऊपर पहले बात करके आए कि हमें उसमें से क्या करना है और क्यों हमने वो जॉब से रिलेवेंट इंफॉर्मेशन किस तरह हमने क्या मतलब कैलकुलेट करनी है और कलेक्ट करनी है। तो वो जॉब एनालिसिस जब आप कर लेते हैं, तो जॉब एनालिसिस करने के बाद आपके पास ये रिक्वायरमेंट अपडेटेड आ जाती है कि उस जॉब के लिए क्या चीज़ें जो है वो चाहिए होती है। ठीक है, और उसके बाद जी डिटेल इंफॉर्मेशन होनी चाहिए। यस, मैंने सही कह रही है कि जॉब एनालिसिस में आपके पास जो है वो डिटेल्ड इंफॉर्मेशन होनी चाहिए जॉब के बारे में। सही है, तो जॉब के बारे में डिटेल इंफॉर्मेशन से मुराद ये है कि उसकी रिक्वायरमेंट क्या है, टाइम रिक्वायरमेंट क्या है, डिफ़िकल्टी रिक्वायरमेंट क्या है, स्किल रिक्वायरमेंट क्या है, बिहेवियरल रिक्वायरमेंट क्या है, और उसमें स्ट्रेस लेवल क्या है, लोग किस लेवल के चाहिए जिनको जो है वो स्ट्रेस कितना है जॉब में। अगर स्ट्रेसफुल जॉब है तो हमें वो लोग चाहिए होते हैं जो कि इमोशनली स्टेबल हों, जो स्ट्रेस को बर्दाश्त कर सकते हों। ठीक है, अगर जॉब की रिक्वायरमेंट ऐसी है कि जिसमें हमें जो है वो उसकी सोशल नेचर ज़्यादा है, उसमें कम्युनिकेशन ज़्यादा है, तो हमें वो लोग चाहिए जो कि सोशेबल हों, जो कि एक्सट्रोवर्ट हों, और जो कि जिनके कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स बेहतर हों, जिनके लैंग्वेज स्किल्स बेहतर हों, जिनके पर्सुएसिव स्किल्स बेहतर हों, ताकि फिर उस हिसाब से हमें जो है वो एक पूरी रिक्वायरमेंट हम डेवलप कर लेते हैं। सही है, तो वो हम पूरी रिक्वायरमेंट डेवलप करने के बाद फिर उसके जो सारे आप देखें, हो सकता है कि एक एक जो पॉइंट है जॉब डिस्क्रिप्शन का या स्पेसिफिकेशन का, उसके लिए हमें कोई अलग से मेथड आइडेंटिफाई करना पड़ता है। साथ ही हम देखते हैं कि जी एक पॉइंट है जी कि बंदा जो है वो इमोशनल स्टेबल होना चाहिए, तो फिर हम उनका इमोशनल इंटेलिजेंस पे टेस्ट लेंगे। ठीक है, हम चाहते हैं कि एक बंदा जो है उसके कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स भी बेहतर होनी चाहिए। ओके, फिर हम उसकी कम्युनिकेशन और पर्सनल स्किल्स के अलग से टेस्ट ले सकते हैं। हमें चाहिए कि एक बंदा जो है वो जो ऐसा बंदा होगा वो वही सेम बंदा उसकी राइटिंग स्किल्स बेहतर हों, ताकि वो ईमेल और रिटन जो है वो कम्युनिकेशन भी करेगा। ठीक है, तो फिर हमें उसके राइटिंग स्किल्स भी देखने पड़ेंगे कि आया वो जो है उसकी कंप्यूटर एफिशिएंसी कितनी बेहतर है। हो सकता है हम उसकी कंप्यूटर एफिशिएंसी अलग से चेक करें। और उसके बाद हम उसकी जो राइटिंग स्किल्स हैं वो अलग से चेक करें। उसके लिए हमें एक अलग टेस्ट जो है वो डिज़ाइन करना पड़ेगा और वो असेसर्स और जजेस रखने पड़ेंगे, ताकि एक बंदे के मुख्तलिफ जो हैं डायमेंशंस हैं उनके लिए हम अलग अलग से टेस्ट जो है वो डिज़ाइन करके तो हम उसके असेस करेंगे, ताकि हमें ट्रू पिक्चर एक बंदे के सामने आ जाए। मैंने कहा जो सिंपल हम इंटरव्यू ले लेते हैं, अभी हम हमारे यहाँ लास्ट टाइम इंटरव्यू के सेक्शन में हमने बात की थी कि इंटरव्यू में क्या होता है, इंटरव्यू में बहुत सी बाइसेस होते हैं। हमें समझ में नहीं आती कि एक बोर्ड जो है वो बैठता है और एक दिन में पता नहीं सैकड़ों लोगों का, दर्जनों लोगों का जो है वो इंटरव्यू करने के बाद 5-5 मिनट में बंदे को सिलेक्ट करने के और अनसिलेक्ट करने के डिसीजन ले रहा होता है। वो किस तरह कर रहे होते हैं, ठीक है। तो यही वो लोग हैं जब सिलेक्ट होकर जाते हैं तो फिर वहां पे वो परफॉर्म नहीं कर पा रहे होते। तो वो सिलेक्टर्स तो कहते हैं जी कि हमने तो बंदा बड़ा अच्छा सिलेक्ट किया था। तो भाई जब आपने सिलेक्ट किया है तो आपने तो सिर्फ एक ही डायमेंशन देखा, हो सकता है कि उसकी पर्सनैलिटी से आप मुतासर हो गए, जी बंदा बड़ा अच्छा है, देखने में अच्छा है, हैंडसम है, ठीक है। तो हैंडसम को आपने सिलेक्ट तो कर लिया, मगर हैंडसम ने आगे जाके परफॉर्म नहीं किया ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के अंदर, तो फिर ये बात तो सिलेक्टर्स के ऊपर आ जाएगी कि उन्होंने सही से सिलेक्ट नहीं किया। तो उसके लिए क्या करना पड़ेगा कि एक पूरा पोर्टफोलियो बनाना पड़ता है। और पोर्टफोलियो किस चीज़ का, कि सारे इसके सब चेक करें और सारे उसके डायमेंशंस चेक करें, सारे आप चेक करें कि जी उसकी जो कौन कौन सी उसने एक्टिविटीज सरंजाम देनी है, जो जो उसने एक्टिविटीज सरंजाम देनी है, कि हर एक्टिविटी के लिए अलग अलग सेट का स्किल्स चाहिए होता है। फिर हमें वो बंदा चाहिए जिसमें वो सारी चीज़ें मौजूद हों, ठीक है। यानी कि आप सबको एक जो है वो लाठी के साथ हाँक नहीं सकते, इसी तरीके से एक ही स्किल सेट के साथ जो है वो आप सारे काम नहीं कर सकते, ठीक है। सिर्फ हैंडसम होने के लिए आपकी एफिशिएंसी जो है वो काफ़ी नहीं है, मिल नहीं सकती। उसके लिए आपको बहुत से स्किल्स चाहिए। तो फिर हमें क्या करना पड़ेगा कि एज ए सिलेक्टर हमें ये चेक करना पड़ेगा कि जो हम कैंडिडेट्स को एनालाइज कर रहे हैं वो डिफरेंट डायमेंशंस के ऊपर कर रहे हैं, और उसके लिए फिर डिफरेंट टेस्ट जो है वो हम अप्लाई कर रहे हैं। और फिर उसके लिए मजे की बात ये कि डिफरेंट ऑब्जर्वर्स और जजेस को अपॉइंट कर रहे हैं। ये नहीं है कि एक बंदा डिसीजन ले लेगी ये मुझे पसंद है लिहाजा ठीक है, ऐसा नहीं होता। कि जो एक बंदा जो कि पावर में है, जो अथॉरिटी में है, वो कहे जी कि ये बंदा जो चूंकि मुझे पसंद आ गया है तो लिहाजा ये ठीक है, और आप उस कैंडिडेट को जब आप वर्क प्लेस एनवायरनमेंट में भेजते हैं तो वहाँ वो सिफर हो जाता है। तो ऐसा नहीं होता, ठीक है। क्योंकि बाज़ औक़ात एक बंदा बड़ा अच्छा है मगर वो टीम में काम नहीं कर सकता, ठीक है। यानी उसके पर्सनैलिटी डायमेंशन ऐसी है जिसमें वो कहता है जी मैं ही हूँ, ठीक है। वो ओवर कॉन्फिडेंस है, वो अपने आप को ओवर क्वालिफाइड समझता है, और या वो ऐसी पर्सनैलिटी से ताल्लुक़ रखता है कि जिसमें वो दूसरों को अंडरमाइन करता है, ठीक है। और हमें ऐसा बिहेवियर नहीं चाहिए, हमें तो टीम वर्क चाहिए। क्योंकि बाज़ ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस जो हैं वो उसमें टीम वर्क इन्वायरमेंट को ज़्यादा फोकस करते हैं। तो वो वहाँ पर एक ऐसा बंदा चाहिए होता है जिसके इंडिविजुअल स्किल्स भले अच्छे हो मगर उसके साथ साथ टीम के अंदर कोहेसिवली वो बंदा काम कर सके। तो फिर हम उसकी टीम मैनेजमेंट के ऊपर और उसके ग्रुप स्किल्स के ऊपर हमें अलग से टेस्ट करना पड़ेगा कि आया वो बंदा ग्रुप के अंदर किस तरह बिहेव करता है, ठीक है। तो ये है, और ये सब मुमकिन है कि जब आप मल्टीपल मेथड्स यूज करें, और वो मल्टीपल जो मेथड्स है, जो मल्टीपल ऑब्जर्वेशंस हैं, हर डायमेंशन के लिए आपको अप्लाई करनी पड़ती है, ठीक है। हर डायमेंशन का जैसा मैंने कहा कि आप मल्टीपल जो है वो मेथड्स यूटिलाइज करते हैं और मल्टीपल असेसर्स आप इस्तेमाल करते हैं, और वो असेसर्स जो है वो ट्रेंड होते हैं, और ट्रेंड होते हैं, ये नहीं अनट्रेंड नहीं होते। और वो ट्रेंड भी क्या कि वो सर्टिफाइड होते हैं, और वो उन्होंने स्टैंडर्डाइज तरीके से सिलेक्ट करना और टेस्ट करना आता है, ठीक है। एक क्लिनिकल जो साइकोलॉजिस्ट होगा, जो सर्टिफाइड साइकोलॉजिस्ट होगा, वही बेहतर तरीके से किसी को असेस कर सकेगा, ठीक है। ऐसा नहीं है कि किसी को भी उठाएं और वो आप जनाब जज बिठा दें और वो कर ले। मैंने बताया था लास्ट टाइम इंटरव्यू के सेक्शन में कि आमतौर पर जो हमारे साथ डिलेमा है वो क्या है कि इंटरव्यू बोर्ड में इररिलेवेंट लोग बैठे होते हैं, और मजे की बात ये वो इररिलेवेंट लोग जो है वो एक पावर जो है वो ज्यादा उनके पास होता है। ये पावर नहीं है कि देखिए एक बंदा अगर आप एक पॉलिटिकल जो है कोई लॉर्ड को बिठा दें तो उसके सामने एक आम एक्सपर्ट की क्या औकात होगी। वो पॉलिटिकल जो लॉर्ड जो जिस तरीके का वहां पे डिसीजन देगा तो वो फिर हावी आ जाता है। ठीक है, तो ये जो असेसमेंट सेंटर है ये इन सारे बाइसेस को खत्म कर देता है, क्योंकि इसमें सारे जो जजेस इस्तेमाल होते हैं या जो असेसर्स या ऑब्जर्वर्स होते हैं वो ट्रेंड होते हैं और हर एक का स्टैंडर्डाइज परफॉर्मेंस एवैल्यूएशन प्रोसीजर को अप्लाई करते हैं और फिर उसके बाद हर बंदा अपना अपना आउटपुट इनपुट जो है वो देता है और उसके बाद जाके जब डिसीजन आप लेंगे तो फिर सारों को आप कंपाइल करके फिर एक आप ऑब्जेक्टिव जो है वो डिसीजन और ऑप्टिमल डिसीजन के ऊपर आ जाते हैं। ठीक है, और इसमें हमने क्या करना है तो वी हैव टू रिकॉर्ड द बिहेवियर थ्रू द सिस्टमेटिक मेथड्स। ओके, ये नहीं है कि बिहेवियर को भी आपने जस्ट ऑब्जर्व किया और फिर आप डिसीजन ले लें, नहीं, उसको मुख्तलिफ जो है वो डायमेंशन से आप देखते हैं और रिकॉर्ड करते हैं और उसके बाद फिर आप उसका डिसीजन लेते हैं। Assessors prepare behavior reports in preparation for the integration. Okay, तो जो मैंने कहा ना कि वो assessors जो हैं they have to not give just the opinion, they have to prepare the reports on the standard format. Okay, and all those reports then are integrated into each other and to form a comprehensive report regarding an employee. Okay, the integration of the behaviors through pooling of the information from the different assessors. We have to pull up, we have to integrate the information and to have to form an integrated and comprehensive report which enlists all the the strengths and weaknesses of an employee and which assesses the suitability of the employee on the different behavior. So when you have to assess the employee on the different dimension, employee or the candidate on the different dimensions, so you have to see the rank of the candidate on each dimension. Then you have to make the average. Okay, and then you have to see whether then sometimes you have to categorize the things. Okay, so all the dimensions are not equally required. Okay, we have to prioritize the dimensions, we have to categorize, we have to rank those dimensions. Okay, then we have to take the decision. So in such a situation we have to give weights to each dimension. Okay, we have to assign the weights for each dimension, and then on those weighted average method we have to take the decision of the employee. Okay, okay, what are the uses of assessment centers? Assessment centers are used basically for the human resource department because human resource department looks after required and actual skill sets of the candidates and then select them. But the assessment center method is not restricted only up to selection. This can be used for various HR functions. So this is the point where I have invited some other candidates, some other students from the different courses, so that they must know how the assessment centers can be utilized in different HR functions like training and development. Say, when you have assessed why it is relevant to the training and development function of the human resource management. When you have assessed your own employees, say for example the internal candidates are those who are employed by that organization. Okay, internal candidates are from your own organization, so they are your employees. Then when you assess them for a particular, say, the job opening, for a particular the promotion opportunity, for a particular assignment, or you are going to take the job rotation decision, then you have to assess the group of the employees and to see the suitability of the employee. So you select one person as the true, and you have assessed the many persons, and those people could not perform well. So you have also an information that what are their weaknesses, okay? What are the deficiencies in those employees? So that information can be used by the training and development department to fill up, to plan for filling up those deficiencies. You have to design the training interventions for those employees so that their skills can be enhanced properly. Their deficiencies can be, the overcome by provision of the different training and development opportunities. So these assessment centers and outcome of these assessment centers can be utilized by the different HR functions. As I said earlier, these outcomes can also be used by the compensation management department. They can decide who is the person who has performed well, and who is the person who is deserving for a pay raise. Okay, so that information is not limited or not restricted to the recruitment selection function, but it can be used by the other HR functions as well. So what are those HR functions which can use the assessment centers? Firstly, we discussed the selection. So assessment center method is very much important, and it is very much effective in the getting right person for the right job and at the right time. Okay, that is another addition to this the very popular phrase which is used by the HR department and especially the recruitment selection function to hire the right person for the right job. But the important thing is getting right person for the right job at the right time. The timeliness is much more important when that person is required to be hired. Okay, so if you have the right person, but you employ him at a wrong time, so you might be at mistake, and you cannot get much benefit from that appointment. Okay. The second, utilization of assessment center is its use in the selection and establishment of the career path or the career management. We have discussed about the career management in earlier lectures. So what is the career management? Career management is a procedure employed by the organizations to take care about the careers of the employees. We have to see what skill set is possessed by our employees and how those skills can be made relevant for the future positions, so that those employees might be helped out to capture the right set of the skills so that they can be promoted to the higher ranks. Okay, so the career path in the career management, these assessment centers can be used. It helps in deciding the candidate to decide his or her career path or the career development. It is because candidate has got knowledge about the competencies required for the particular job. Okay, say again, you have assessed the employees for their suitability with regard to a particular job, and at the end you might share the information regarding the competencies they possess and the competencies they require. Okay, and what are their strengths and weaknesses, what are their positions and what are their deficiencies with regard to their suitability of regarding the particular job, so that information can be utilized further. If they need to foster some set of the skills, they will go for the training and development, they will go for the procedures which help them achieve these objectives. Okay. If they think that they are more suitable for the job, yes, they will be motivated enough and they will apply for the higher level jobs, and they will ultimately be motivated and they will ultimately get those jobs. Okay. So these assessment centers can help employees to establish their career paths, to develop their careers. Okay. Then to identify the potential. It helps candidates to know his potential and strong area. This helps him or her in performance appraisals. Okay. Again, this information, as we discussed earlier, can be used in the performance management of the employees. So, if someone tells you that in a particular course, if your teacher tells you that in a particular course you are not performing well, okay, so this is the the subjective decision, and this is the holistic decision that you are not performing well. But if you are given, the feedback with regard to what you need to improve, what are your weaknesses, okay, and how you can improve those weaknesses, it's such information you receive. So what do you think? You should be thankful to that person, thankful to that teacher who provides you such feedback. This is called a developmental feedback, which can be used for the developmental purposes. What we do sometimes when we receive a negative feedback, we become depressed. So there's no need of becoming depressed, becoming the worried. Okay, but you have to be happy that someone has told you your weaknesses. ठीक है, अगर कोई आपको बताता है कि ये आप में गलतियां हैं, अगर कोई आपको बताता है कि ये आपके अंदर कमजोरी है, तो आपको क्या करना चाहिए? आपको परेशान होना चाहिए? नहीं। आपको फिक्रमंद होना चाहिए? नहीं। आपको उससे लड़ाई करनी चाहिए? नहीं। आपको उससे नाराज हो जाना चाहिए? नहीं। आपको क्या करना चाहिए? यू हैव टू बी थैंकफुल टू दैट पर्सन। आपको शुक्रगुजार होना चाहिए कि उसने आपको बताया कि आपके अंदर क्या कमजोरियां, और आप उन कमजोरियों को कैसे ओवरकम कर सकते हैं, किस तरह आप अपने आप को बेहतर बना सकते हैं। ठीक है, देखिए वासफ अली वासफ ने कहा था कि एक जो फ्लाई है, एक मक्खी जो है, वो अगर आपके ऊपर बैठती है तो वो समझें कि आपकी दोस्त है। क्यों? वो बताती है कि भाईजान यहाँ पे गंदगी है। तो बात ये है कि एक चीज अगर आपको पता चल जाए कि यहाँ पर जो है कोई आपके अंदर कोई कमी कमजोरी है, तो वो बंदा आपका सिंधी में कहते हैं सजन है, बेहतर बंदा है आपके लिए। ठीक है, क्योंकि आप उससे अपनी कमजोरी का पता करने के बाद आप उसको दूर कर सकते हैं, आप उसको ठीक कर सकते हैं। अगर हर बंदा आपकी तारीफें करता रहेगा जबकि आपके अंदर वो चीजें, वो खूबियां ना हो, तो आप क्या करेंगे? आप फिर अपने आप को इम्प्रूव करना छोड़ देंगे। तो टोटल क्वालिटी मैनेजमेंट का एक कॉन्सेप्ट है, कभी गूगल कर लेना और आप आगे जाके शायद पढ़ें भी। तो उसके अंदर उसका जो मेजर एक इम्पोर्टेंट कंपोनेंट है, दैट इज अ कंटिन्यूअस इम्प्रूवमेंट। सो वी all need continuously we all need to improve ourselves continuously। ठीक है, हमें अपने आप को मुस्तकिल तौर पर इम्प्रूव करते रहना चाहिए। okay. Then the fourth one is the identification of the talent। okay, so talent management is another HR function in which you have to keep record of the skills of your employees, okay, so that the database which you develop in this talent management function, that will help you in many ways. Okay, so assessment center method also indicates the talents which is available in the organization, and that help you identifying the potential people for the potential position. Say for example, you have conducted an assessment center method in your organization, and you have let your employees go through that assessment centers. So what is the outcome? At the end of that method, that procedure, you have a list of competencies for each employee. Okay, and you make a record, you make an inventory, you make a database regarding the talent of your employees. So what will you do? You will be knowing that in what particular position, say for example, you have to rotate a job, you have rotate a person from one position to another. So that record which you have obtained through that assessment center will help you out. Okay, so you will help you identify the particular talent. Okay, in your organization, you have a different project, okay, in your organization. So you have to employ a person on that project. So how will you identify? Normally, what leaders do, they see who is dear to them. Okay, कौन बंदा है जो उनके नजदीक है, या वो अपने किसी बंदे से पूछते हैं, हाँ यार ये प्रोजेक्ट है, इसके लिए किसको लगाए, वो अपने किसी बंदे को बता देते हैं. यानी वो उनके जो डिसीजंस हैं ये इम्पल्सिव डिसीजन है. ठीक है, और वो डिसीजंस जो हैं वो these decisions are not objective decisions. These decisions are not supported by the objective data. ठीक है, तो आप क्या करते हैं, आपको देखना पड़ता है कि उसके लिए कौन सा बंदा है जिसके अंदर वो टैलेंट मौजूद है. ठीक है, और कौन सा बंदा है जिसके अंदर वो पोटेंशियल मौजूद है. तो उसके बाद ही आप वो फैसला करते हैं कि ये जो है बंदा इसके लिए, इस जॉब के लिए, इस प्रोजेक्ट के लिए, इस पोजीशन के लिए सूटेबल है, मुझे इसको रखना चाहिए. तो ये इंफॉर्मेशन आपको भी असेसमेंट सेंटर प्रोवाइड करता है. तो ट्रेनिंग एंड डेवलपमेंट नीड्स, जिसका हमने पहले भी बात की कि ट्रेनिंग एंड डेवलपमेंट नीड्स को आइडेंटिफाई करने के लिए भी आप असेसमेंट सेंटर को यूटिलाइज करते हैं. एंड सक्सेशन प्लानिंग में भी ये यूज होता है. सक्सेशन प्लानिंग क्या है? दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फंक्शन इन द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन which normally is missing in our scenario. सक्सेशन प्लानिंग है क्या, पहले इसको समझ लें. सक्सेशन प्लानिंग एक ऐसा फंक्शन है जिसके तहत आप फ्यूचर लीडर्स तैयार करते हैं, फ्यूचर मैनेजर्स तैयार करते हैं. ठीक है, डेवलपिंग द करंट एम्प्लॉइज फॉर द फ्यूचर जॉब्स, नॉर्मली फॉर द मैनेजरल पोजीशन, फॉर द लीडरशिप पोजीशन. तो एक बंदा लीडर बनता है और वो लीडर ही बना रहता है, दूसरे बंदों को कभी डेवलप करके उस लेवल पे अपने जैसा बनाने की कोशिश नहीं करता. सक्सेशन प्लानिंग ये एक बाकायदा आप समझें कि एक वॉलंटरी प्रोसेस है, और एक मतलब एक ऐसा प्रोसेस है जिसके तहत ऑर्गेनाइजेशन जो है वो पाबंदी के साथ जो है वो एक प्रोसेस के अंदर एंगेज होती हैं, जिसके तहत वो दूसरे जो लोअर लेवल मैनेजर्स हैं, ठीक है, और उनको डेवलप करते हैं ताकि वो हायर लेवल पोजीशंस के लिए अपने आप को तैयार कर सकें. ये आमतौर पर एग्जीक्यूटिव प्लानिंग के लिए भी इस्तेमाल होता है. ठीक है, तो ये ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस जो हैं वो उसके पास टॉप मैनेजमेंट मौजूद है और टॉप एग्जीक्यूटिव्स मौजूद है और बड़े हाई फाई लोग मौजूद बैठे हैं. तो ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस नॉर्मली डिपेंड अपॉन द स्किल्स ऑफ दोज हॉट सीट्स इन द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. So what will happen if that person leaves the organization due to some other reason, say for example the natural death? Okay, so what will be then the future of that organization if you have not developed your successor? Succession planning जो है वो इस तरह है जिस तरह बादशाहत में क्या होता है कि वो उसके जाननशीन पहले से मुकर्रर कर देते हैं, उन जाननशीनों को तैयार किया जाता है, उनको बादशाहत के गुर सिखाए जाते हैं. तो ये सक्सेशन प्लानिंग ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस के अंदर ऐसा है कि चीफ एग्जीक्यूटिव जो है वो अपने समझो कि जाननशीन तैयार करता है, मुकर्रर नहीं करता, तैयार करता है, लोगों के ग्रुप को डेवलप करता है. ठीक है, इस तरह अपॉइंट नहीं करता है कि मैं अगर मर जाऊं या मैं छोड़ जाऊं तो ये बंदा होगा, नहीं. उस बंदे के अंदर वो स्किल्स जो है इन्फ्यूज किए जाते हैं, डेवलप किया जाता है, उसको रखा जाता है, साथ साथ अपने ट्रेन किया जाता है. एक मैं करंट एग्जांपल देता हूँ, वेरी पेनफुल एग्जांपल. You might know that the IB Sakhar Vice Chancellor has passed away. May Allah bless him, the highest place in the Jannah. He was a person who developed IB Sakhar from the scratch and made IB Sakhar the internationally reputed Institute of Sindh. Okay, what happened? कि उनकी डेथ के बाद ये डिसीजन मतलब उनके लिए करना कि कौन बंदा होगा जो कि उनकी जगह ले लेगा। ठीक है, आमतौर पर हमारे यहाँ ऐसा होता है कि वो, मैं ये नहीं कहता हूँ कि उन्होंने डेवलप नहीं किया, यकीनन जो लोग भी उनके साथ बैठ कर उन्होंने काम किया है और उन्होंने सीखा है, यकीनन वहाँ पे आईवी सेक्टर के अंदर इस तरह के हमारे लोग मौजूद हैं, टैलेंटेड लोग मौजूद हैं जो कि उनकी पोजीशंस को हासिल कर सकते हैं। मगर ये है कि हमारे जैसे इन्वायरमेंट में जो फर्स्ट टायर लोग होते हैं वो तो हैं, मगर सेकंड थर्ड लेवल की लीडरशिप को उस लेवल पे डेवलप करना ये वक्त की ज़रूरत है। मैं यहाँ पे ये बात करना चाहता हूँ। ठीक है, तो असेसमेंट सेंटर जो हैं वो हमें सक्सेशन प्लानिंग में भी मदद देते हैं, और सक्सेशन प्लानिंग सिर्फ एग्जीक्यूटिव पोजीशन के लिए नहीं होती, मगर वो लोअर लेवल मैनेजमेंट के लिए और मिडिल लेवल मैनेजमेंट के लिए भी आप इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं। तो दिस assessment center method clearly indicates the skill set or competency of the individual. It helps in succession planning. This decision or succession planning based on the assessment center results help in reducing the errors or helps in accuracy of taking the right decisions. So, okay, the succession planning can be supported through this assessment center method. Okay, development of the candidates, skill enhancement through simulations. So we also provide some simulators or the simulation exercises, okay, to the candidates. So sometimes they learn, they develop some skills. Okay, ये नहीं है कि candidates को just assess किया जाता है, मगर उस candidates को train भी किया जाता है। ठीक है, उन्हें कुछ नई चीजें वहाँ पे सिखाई भी जाती हैं उस learning के process से, whether they are hired or not, but they end up learning something new through these assessments. The current trend in assessment center is that people are using development center, the term development center in place of assessment center, because the term development center has helped to gain reduced anxiety. Okay, and this term is found to be, the development oriented and to be more friendly and less threatening than the assessment, because the difficulty with assessing strategic focus that it is often poorly articulated in the first place. Okay? So when you say that we are here to develop you, then it means the person will be more satisfied. Okay, he will not be threatened. The assessing a person or evaluation, performance assessment, performance evaluation, the examination, and these terms sometimes create an anxiety. People think that what will happen if my assessment results in negative, okay, or I score low after the assessment. So people become stressed, or people become insecure when these terms like the assessment center and the performance evaluation or like things are used. Okay, when you use the word development center, so that is more encouraging, that is more soothing, and that is more motivating. Okay, people think motivated because anything which is being carried out and that is meant to develop us, not to just assess us, not to just evaluate and examine us. Okay, तो आपको भी अगर बताया जाए कि हम आपका एक टेस्ट ले रहे हैं जिसमें हम बाद में पता चलेगा कि कौन जो है वो पुअर परफॉर्म कर रहा है और कौन हाई परफॉर्म कर रहा है, तो दैट विल समथिंग के वो बंदा समझेगा कि यार पता नहीं क्या होगा। तो एम्प्लॉयमेंट सेक्टर में ये ज़्यादा होता है कि हो सकता है कि लोग कहें जी मेरी सैलरी कट जाएगी या मुझे नौकरी से निकाल दिया जाएगा, तो इट रिजल्ट्स इन सम टू सम एक्सटेंट द जॉब इनसिक्योरिटी। ओके, जबकि डेवलपमेंट सेंटर के जो टर्म है वो ज़्यादा इनकरेजिंग है और उससे लोग जो है ज़्यादा मुतमईन होते हैं। तो इनके पर्पस क्या होते हैं? सर्टेन कॉमनली यूज वे फॉर कंडक्टिंग एसी एंड पर्पस फॉर which they are conducted. These trends are listed below. Purpose क्या है? Most often ACs are used for the development purpose rather than the selection. When used for selection, it is often for selection of middle level manager wherein the dual purpose of the development is also achieved. This is so because of the cost and the time involved in conducting an AC. So what is the duration? Most ACs are 2.5 days long if the purpose is of mere selection. However, if the AC is to combine selection with training, it is usually conducted for 5 to 6 days. The duration increases with the increase in the responsibility level of those being assessed. तो बुनियादी जो मकसद है असेसमेंट सेंटर्स का वो हकीकत में डेवलपमेंटली होता है कि जब आप अगर इंटरनल कैंडिडेट्स को असेस कर रहे हैं और उनको आप बता रहे हैं कि हम जो है वो आपको उसको आप इस तरह का फीडबैक देना चाह रहे हैं जिससे वो अपने आप को डेवलप कर सकें, ठीक है। और ये अगर सिलेक्शन में यूज़ होता है तो सिलेक्शन में अगर ये यूज़ होता है तो भी ये है कि आप बताते हैं कि किस बंदे के अंदर जो है वो रिक्विजिट स्किल्स हैं और किसके पास नहीं है। ड्यूरेशन भी इसका वेरी करता है पर्पज़ के हिसाब से, काम के हिसाब से, रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी लेवल के हिसाब से, ठीक है। और अगर सिर्फ सिलेक्शन का मकसद होता है तो वो 2-3 दिन के अंदर हो जाता है, 1 दिन के अंदर भी हो सकता है, ठीक है। और अगर ट्रेनिंग एंड डेवलपमेंट भी उसके साथ इंक्लूडेड हो तो ज़्यादा टाइम लग सकता है, ठीक है। इसका ग्रुप स्ट्रेंथ के पर्सपेक्टिव में द नंबर ऑफ कैंडिडेट्स इन ईच ग्रुप इज यूजुअली 5 to 6. ओवरऑल नंबर ऑफ पार्टिसिपेंट इन एन AC रेंज फ्रॉम 12 to 21. ओके, ये उसकी ग्रुप स्ट्रेंथ है और यानी कि 5-6 से लेकर 20-25 तक, 20-21 तक लोग जो हैं वो इंक्लूडेड हो सकते हैं, उनका आप ग्रुप टेस्ट जो ले सकते हैं, ठीक है। और फीडबैक मोस्ट ऑफन इज प्रोवाइडेड ओरली देन इन रिटन. Feedback is more frequent in case of development ACs, for example, in training, etc. In case of evaluative ACs, isolation feedback is provided at the end of the session. तो आप आमतौर पर अगर जिस तरह कहा कि सिलेक्शन डिसीजन लेना हो तो लास्ट में जो फीडबैक दिया जाता है वो भी डिसीजनल होता है, उसमें ज़्यादातर जो है वो सिलेक्शन प्रोसीजर के बारे में इतनी ज़्यादा इन्फॉर्मेशन शेयर नहीं की जाती, फिर बताया जाता है कि आप हमारे जो है वो क्राइटेरिया पे पूरे उतरे हैं या नहीं उतरे हैं और आपको अगर डेवलपमेंट की ज़रूरत है तो क्या है, ठीक है। अगर किसी ने आर्मी के ISTB के लिए अप्लाई किया होगा और अगर नहीं सिलेक्ट हुआ होगा तो लास्ट टाइम उसको एक लेटर आ जाता है कि सॉरी आप जो है वो किसी वजह से नहीं हो सके, उसमें बहुत ज़्यादा डिटेल जो है वो नहीं दी जाती कि जी क्यों नहीं हुए, ठीक है। और टेस्ट जो हैं वो इसमें इन बास्केट टेस्ट आर द मोस्ट सक्सेसफुल अमंग ऑल अदर AC एक्सरसाइजेज following by the interviews. Mental ability tests and personality tests are at the least effective in predicting the future effectiveness of the candidates. इसमें मुख्तलिफ किस्म के टेस्ट लिए जाते हैं और बैटरी टेस्ट लिए जाते हैं, इन सिंगल टेस्ट नहीं लिया जाता, ज़्यादा टेस्ट जो है वो ले जाते हैं, कंबाइन किए जाते हैं टेस्ट, ठीक है। मेथड ऑफ सिलेक्शन ऑफ द पार्टिसिपेंट्स को किस तरह सिलेक्ट करेंगे, यानी उसके लिए कौन से पार्टिसिपेंट आप चूज करेंगे। The candidates selected for ACs are usually the ones recommended by the seniors. Performance appraisal data is also considered for selection to assessment centers. Okay. तो sometime अगर आप assessment centers को utilize कर रहे हैं तो फिर उसके लिए अगर आप internal candidates को apply कर रहे हैं तो उसके लिए performance evaluation की रिपोर्ट्स हैं वो ज़्यादा suitable होती हैं, उससे आपको अंदाजा लग जाएगा कि कौन से लोग जो हैं उनको आपको सिलेक्ट करना है और कौन से को नहीं करना। परफॉर्मेंस एवोल्यूशन में भी ये देखा जाता है कि अगर कौन बंदा है जो कि जिसके अंदर इम्प्रूवमेंट की चांसेस हैं और किसके अंदर इम्प्रूवमेंट के चांसेस नहीं है। इसमें इम्प्रूवमेंट के चांसेस नहीं है, बिल्कुल नहीं है, तो फिर उसको आया वो ट्रेनिंग की नीड है या नहीं है और उसको फर्दर असेसमेंट की ज़रूरत है या नहीं है। तो ये सारे क्राइटेरिया के ऊपर बंदों को सिलेक्ट करने के बाद चेक किया जाता है और फिर उनको असेसमेंट सेंटर भेजा जाता है जहाँ से उनकी डिटेल्ड स्क्रूटनी होती है और डिटेल्ड उनका जो है वो SWOT एनालिसिस होता है, उसके बाद उनके बारे में ज़्यादा बेहतर तरीके से राय कायम की जा सकती है, ठीक है। और एक्सटर्नल कैंडिडेट्स के लिए हो सकता है कि ट्रेडिशनल जो मेथड है उसमें से जो लोग शॉर्टलिस्ट होते हैं तो उनको फर्दर जो है वो आप असेसमेंट सेंटर से गुजार सकते हैं कि अगर देखें आपने रिटन टेस्ट लिया उसमें जो लोग जो हैं आपने शॉर्टलिस्ट किए तो उनको फिर फर्दर जो है आप असेसमेंट सेंटर भेज सकते हैं जहाँ उनकी डिटेल्ड स्क्रूटनी हो जाती है और उनको पता चल जाता है कि वो कौन सा बंदा है जिसके अंदर वो पोटेंशियल है, कौन सा अंदर नहीं है। असेसमेंट सेंटर किस तरह काम करते हैं? असेसमेंट सेंटर्स आर used to find out the strength and weakness of a person And here we sometimes employ the person job fit assessment. Okay, we have to clarify the roles of the people through the assessment centers, and sometimes self-assessment is also carried out, right? It involves multiple evaluation techniques, including various types of job-related simulations, interviews, psychological tests, group discussion, group problem. Okay, the purpose of an assessment center is for selection, promotion, training. Okay, so ये हम पहले भी बात कर रहे हैं. What are the stages in typical assessment center? There are basically three stages: pre-assessment center, and during assessment, and post-assessment. Okay. The pre-assessment क्या है? What are the activities which are required in pre-assessment center? You have to define the objectives of SE, and you have to sometime get the approval, the official approval from your concerned officials, say for the executives or the board, which has the authority and which gives them the official power to conduct the assessment center. You must be having the information regarding the job description and specification through conducting of the job analysis. Then you have to identify the relevant people to be included in the assessment center, and those potential position holders. And after the identification of those people, you have to give them the formal invitations. And then you have to make decision regarding the observers, the selection of the observers. The judges or the assessors. You have to identify them and then invite them. Okay. So identification of the observers can be carried out by the scanning the list of potential experts in the field, and you can do it. Sometime organizations prepare the list of potential experts and get them approval of from the authorities in advance. They have a the established list, and you have to update that list, and then that list must contain the contact numbers and the current positions and the way of they do it, because the assessment center may require the travel of those observers towards your assessment centers. It may also involve the stay of those experts. So you have to identify those people who can travel for you, who can stay for you for the period specified for their assessment center. Okay, so you have to establish the contacts in advance and give them, and you have to while deciding the date of the assessment center, you have to consult them. Okay, and you have to take them into the confidence. Okay, so then you have to train the observers. So that is a very important thing, how we can train the observers. Okay, sometimes you need to train observers with regard to the instruments which are going to be used by those people. Okay, so they are trained enough, they are expert in their field, but they might need some orientation regarding your evaluation criteria, and what are the dimensions through which they have to assess the the candidates, because in order to avoid their holistic and the global the assessment or the global ranking, you have to give them a standard format, the form which they might have to fill, and that standard form may contain the different dimensions of the person, and then they have to rank them according to their performance, the candidate's performance. Okay, and on each dimension there might be a scale which is used to assess the level of competency of that candidate on a particular dimension, because that every candidate might not be same on a single dimension. Okay, some people might be strong enough, and other might be might be having the medium level competency, and some people may have the lower level of the competency. Okay, so you have to rank them. So sometimes we use the Likert scales or some other scales which are used to categorize the level of the performance of those candidates, right? So you have to train those observers and those judges with regard to the environment, with regard to the assessment criteria and the instruments which are being used. Okay, then design the AC exercises. Okay, so you have to identify which exercises are going to be used and how to design them, and you have to identify which equipment is required and which environment will be required for those exercises. What will be level of the staff required for that, and what equipment and what environment and what level of the venue and other things which are required for those exercises. Okay. Decide the rating methods. We have discussed. Make infrastructural arrangements. What infrastructure is needed? Okay. Say sometimes you may need a hall and then the chairs, the tables. So how those chairs and table will be aligned, okay, and together, and what the sound equipment is required, what sort of the videography equipment is required, and what are other training aids which are required in conducting that assessment center. Then you have to schedule the assessment center, the activities we have to design, which activity will be performed at what time and in what room or at what level and so on. Okay, and who will be in charge of that the time period or that activity. Okay, and you have to identify the expert for that activity. Okay, inform the concerned people of the schedule. You have to share the schedule to the concerned people. It is very much important that that schedule must be shared in advance and through proper manner. Say, for example, sometimes you use the email, sometimes you post them on their addresses, sometimes you share on the mobile phone, and sometimes there might be that you use a particular website or the portal where you post their schedule. Okay, so but it is important to note that you have to seek acknowledgement regarding the receipt of the schedule in advance. So you must be confirmed that your schedule has been conveyed properly to the candidates, to the concerned people. Okay. So assessment center, the second point is explain participant the purpose of the AC and the procedure it will follow and its outcome. Give instructions to the participant before every exercise. Distribute competency exercise metrics and conduct all exercises and discussion of all observers on every participant's ratings. Make a report of the strength and improvement areas. Give feedback to the participants and then get feedback from the all participant observers. So these are the activities which are to be conducted while during the assessment center. What you have to do, you have, when all the observers and the candidates are there, you have to you have to express and you have to explain the purpose of that AC, and you have to tell them what will be the procedures. Okay, you have to hand over the requisite material to the candidates and as well as the assessors. Okay, and you have to making sure that everyone knows their rules, regulations, and the schedule and what will be the activities over there. Okay, then you have to conduct the exercises, and you have to ensure that every participant is being observed by the observers on a particular scale and particular rating method. Okay, so you have to also make a report regarding the strengths and weaknesses of your assessment center. Okay, so what do you mean by that? You when you are conducting the assessment center, you are not only assessing the candidates, but you are also assessing the observers as well. You have to keep the record whether you have conducted that assessment center well or not? What are the weaknesses and flaws? Sometimes we plan well, but sometimes the activities don't go as these are planned. Okay, so what you do, you have to make list of your weaknesses and your strengths, so that when you have to plan that activity in future, and those weaknesses may not be repeated. Okay. So what are the activities at the end of assessment center? That is to compile the reports of all participants and submit the list of selected participants to the concerned authorities. Yes, and then you have to make the improvements in the design according to the recommendation, and then evaluate the validity of the results after a definite period. So there are three major activities which are to be conducted once the assessment center has been conducted, successfully. First and foremost is what is the objective of that assessment. The major objective of that assessment center was to assess the competency level of the participants. So when you have done this activity, you have to compile the report. Okay? You have to see what is the average of the criteria or the scores, ratings regarding each participant, and all those integrated and comprehensive and compiled reports are to be shared with the concerned authorities for further decision making. Okay, this is the first and foremost activity which you have to do, because the assessment center was designed for that purpose. Okay, the second objective was with regard to the efficiency of your assessment center, okay, and make improvement in the design according to the recommendations. Okay, so you have to also assess your assessment center, and you have the report regarding the suitability of the activities which were performed. Okay, so then you have to again prepare the recommendations for the improvement regarding the design of the assessment center. Third, you have to evaluate the validity of the results after a definite period. That is the third way. That is another way to assess the validity of your assessment center. That is being carried out once, say for example, you have assessed 20 people in a particular assessment center method. Okay, at the end you have found that there are 5 people who are at the top level. Okay, and you can see that they are top scorers. Okay, as per your assessment center evaluation ratings. Okay, and there are 10 people who are at medium level, and there are 5 persons who are at the poor or the lower level. Okay, this was the summarized result. Okay, so say for example, after the particular or definite period, say for example after the 6 months, you have to again evaluate their performance at the work. Okay, those 20 people which you assessed in assessment center 6 months ago, now you are going to assess them again. Okay, and you might be using the data of their performance evaluation reports and to see the actual performance. Either those 5 people who scored high on the assessment center criteria are again have maintained their top position as a performer in the organization or not. That is the case. It means your predictions went in the right way. So that adds up to the validity of your assessment center and your assessment method. Okay. If those top people have not performed well, rather than the people whom you ranked at the lower level, they have performed at the top level, it means there are some issues with regard to the validity of your results. Okay, so you have to redesign and restructure your assessment center, and you have to redesign sometimes your assessment tools. Okay, so this is validity testing. Okay, any question? There is no question. Okay, common job simulation which are used. What are those common simulation? In-basket exercises, group discussions, interview with subordinates or clients, fact-finding exercises, or decision-making problems, oral presentations, competency-based interviews, written communication exercises, business games, and paper and pen exercises. Okay, so we will discuss. Okay, so what are the assessors looking for? Whether assessors look for the following qualities in the people, they see whether what the person says and acts. Okay, it means what is the alignment between what you say and what you act. Okay? What is observable and verifiable? Who is observable and verifiable? A person who avoids judgment and misinterpretation. Who is the person who can clearly describe the actions? And who is the person whose actions can be perceived? And what are the behaviors which are displayed, and those behaviors either are important, relevant to the work role or not. Okay. What is the intellectual, social, interpersonal, adaptability, result-oriented, versatile, and creativity relevant skills in the people or not? Okay. So we have to assess their intellectual capital, their social capital, their interpersonal skills. Okay. And some adaptability level things, and whether their behaviors are result oriented or not. Okay, these are advantages which you have to go through it, and some of them we have already discussed, and these are some disadvantages. So the major disadvantage of the assessment center are their their cost and their time which is being consumed. Okay, and secondly, you need highly skilled people to observe the employees. Okay, and again, those highly skilled experts are very much difficult to hire. Okay, sometimes you don't get highly qualified people as assessors because you don't have requisite contacts with them, or your budget cannot allow to hire the highly proficient people of the market. So you end up inviting the experts of lower caliber. So again, there might be the validity issues of those results of the assessment center. Okay. Personal characteristics examined by assessment center exercise cannot be measured accurately even over a period of 3 or 4 days. Okay, because sometimes people fake their behaviors. Okay, they are good when they are being assessed. Okay, and their original the behaviors are displayed when they are not being observed. That is the major thing. Sometimes we miss. Okay, assessor might not be fully familiar with the details of the work that successful candidate will have to undertake, and the wrong qualities may be assessed. That is a major problem, which problem arises even when you conduct the interviews through a selection board, which comprises, which does not have a fair sample of relevant people. Okay. These are the examples in the United States, India, and Canada, and some other countries. Okay, this has also been done already. So these are some tools which are used. Okay, you have to go through it. Some students have said that there is a lot of time already discussed. These are the assessor's manual. For good assessment center, it should ensure that the assessor's manual must contain following: complete assessment schedule, competency dictionary, primary and secondary competency metrics, assessment center design, distribution of particular participants to assessors, all exercises, sample of rating sheet for all exercises, sample on rating sheets, guidelines, or specializing rating sheet. Okay, or writing exercises, or these things. Okay, the role of administrator in documentation. So what do? You have to prepare the material, you have to prepare the checklist, and you have to carry the material to the assessment center. Okay. Okay, you have to collect the material from the assessors. Okay, so then after collecting the material, you have to analyze it, and you have to you have to compile and to make the comprehensive report. These are activities which are involved in assessment centers. Okay, so each activity can be defined manually. You can know what are the impacts in basket exercises, group discussions, okay, etc., etc. There's limited time, so we will we end this lecture in this sitting. This will be the last sitting. Okay. Assessment center enhance HR effectiveness. Okay. How the assessment center serve three main human resource functions. As we discussed earlier, selection and promotion. Diagnosis, it means identification, training and development needs. Development, it means skill enhancement through simulations. Okay. So you have to provide the simulation, you have to provide the opportunities to perform on the simulation, so it will also enhance their skills. Following dimensions are normally assessed in the assessment center: planning and organizing, leadership and analytical skills, problem solving skills, sensitivity skills, decision making, creativity, sociability, management control and delegating. Okay. So what is the difference between assessment center and development center? A fundamental difference for the participants are they will actively be involved in assessing themselves. They will be required to assess and give feedback on the competencies of other participants. They are given the detailed feedback on their results and what they mean for their future development. So this is what we do in development center as opposed to the assessment center. In development center, you have to give them the opportunity to assess themselves and to see what are their strengths and weaknesses. Okay, and you also give them feedback, provide them feedback so that they can improve themselves. Okay, in assessment center, just we have to assess the employees. Okay. So these were the things. If anyone have a question, you may ask. Please. अगर किसी को सवाल है तो पूछ सको था. अगर कोई सवाल ना है तो मैं एंड करें.